And welcome to the Woodshed Podcast. I'm Aaron Tornberg, and this is the Woodshed Podcast. Today with Liz Bills is here to talk to us about her life and play some music.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
So we'll talk in a moment. First, I'd like to just remind everybody of the schedule for the Hearing Room. We have a lot of stuff going on every week. Mondays and Thursdays is the podcast. So if you want to hear the podcast at the time it's released, it's Mondays at 7 and Thursdays at 7. Of course, all the podcasts after that, they remain up. So you should be able to hear everything. And at the moment, you can hear all the way back to the first episode, which isn't that far. But there's a lot of episodes to listen to and get through. And a lot of interesting people, as we have today. So the Hearing Room has other events as well that are usually going on when we're not having a coronavirus pandemic. And that is the Open Mic Tuesdays, 7 to 10. Let's Have Words. It's the spoken word open mic, 7 to 10 Wednesday. Thursday is the Singin' Jam. That's where we have Mark Alio, who comes here and leads a group in singing and playing with the words and chords on the screen. So you can actually, everybody can play together. It's cool.
I love Mark. Hey, Mark.
Yeah, Mark, I tried to get him on the podcast. He declined so far, but I think he, maybe eventually.
It'd be scary.
Yeah. So, but Mark is, that's a really popular event. There's about 20 to 30 people who come. And then we have on Fridays a jam of some type, and it varies because we have theme jams is what we were going for right now. The first week of the month, Friday, is the acoustic jam. The third Friday of the month is the bluegrass jam, and we have other things like the Pink Floyd open mic and Beatles open mic, and we do a lot of different themed stuff. So keep an eye out on our website, hearingroom.net. You can find out more about that. On Saturdays, we have a lot of stuff with synthesizers. People come in and they do all kinds of cool stuff with electronic music. And my favorite is the drone night, where everybody just turns on their synthesizers and makes a lot of noise randomly. And it sort of becomes this huge wall of sound. And you just sort of get into it eventually. It becomes sort of numbing and relaxing, believe it or not. Yeah. But it is loud, and we do have earplugs. But that's another thing we do. And then Sundays are a big day. We have the Drum Circle 11:30 to, I'm sorry, I always say that. The Drum Circle 12:30 to 1:30, not 11:30. It's 12:30 to 1:30. Then the open mic 2 to 5. That's the one I run. And then in the evenings we have different things going on. We just had Guy Davis here to do a show, but it's kind of open right now. We're doing different things on Sundays. So that's the schedule. And we also want to thank the Greenville Junction Shoppy. Greenville is in Greenville, New Hampshire. Greenville, and Junction, Junktion, because they are a upcycling shop. And then Shoppy, Shoppe. The Greenville Junction Shoppy is in Greenville, New Hampshire, and it's for upcycling items. They have all kinds of things you can buy: furniture, household appliances, electronics. And they are going to have a physical store pretty soon, but right now you can find them on Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace is a good place to locate the item you're looking for. Greenville, Junktion, Shoppe, Greenville Junction Shop. And if you want to find out more about it, please check the Facebook page and contact them directly. Okay, so Liz, I don't know that we've met in person yet, have we?
I don't think so.
Yeah. But I've heard your name a lot.
Nice.
I've seen you around because I'm on Alex's page. So
yeah.
And he mentions you.
Nice.
So I know you do a lot of stuff around, but I don't know where you're from.
From Haverhill, Mass.
Yeah?
Yeah, just like Alex.
And were you born there?
No, I was supposed to be born in Beverly, but then I was born in Boston. And I lived in Beverly for the first 6 years of my life and then moved to Haverhill after that, so...
Well, Beverly's a good place, too, for
Yeah.
music. The Cabot has all kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah, I had a show there the 25th, but canceled. So
Your own show, or?
it was a singer-songwriters in the round with many songwriters in the area. Mm-hmm. So hopefully we can reschedule that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Cool spot.
Cabot's a great place to do a concert.
Yeah, for sure.
I saw Keb Mo there, and it's a neat place, especially since they rebuilt it. You know?
Oh, yeah, I haven't even been, but I've heard lots of good things.
Yeah? And so you grew up really in Haverhill, though, it sounds like.
I did, yeah. Yeah, I grew up.
And what do your parents do?
So my mom is a nurse for veterans, and my dad's an architect. Mm-hmm. And my mom's in upstate New York, Syracuse, and she's going to retire this year. And my dad's in Long Island, Hampton Bays, and he's retired.
So they ran away from Haverhill,
yeah,
and left you here.
Yeah, I tried to live in Syracuse for about a year, but just Haverhill and this area, New England, is really my home now, and I've built up so many relationships here. I just doesn't feel right living in New York.
Yeah, my parents actually live in Syracuse too.
Oh wow!
Nice. And my sister. So
wow!
It's not not far.
No, like 5.5 hours, and my mom's in Brewerton now, but that's like right next to Syracuse.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good spot.
But so's Haverhill.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, when did you get started doing music?
I started maybe when I was 8 years old. My dad sort of pushed piano lessons on me, and I just kind of took piano lessons until I was maybe 13, but I never practiced or anything. But I kind of accumulated enough knowledge, I guess, and then I started teaching myself guitar. And I'm very shy and introverted in real life and more extroverted on stage. So I didn't really get to the idea of performing until I was 24. And I went to Berklee College of Music at 25. And then I started teaching music at 27. And I'm 34 now.
So you teach music now?
Yeah, I teach about 28, mostly girls, some boys, voice, piano, guitar, performance, and songwriting. And
that's at a location in Haverhill or just privately?
On Mondays and Fridays, I teach at Be Imagine Music Studio in Haverhill. Mm-hmm. And Tuesday through Thursday, I go to people's homes in Boxford. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's cool. So you've always been doing music full-time pretty much?
Yeah. I never really fit in any other area very well. Yeah. And so being my own boss and making my own schedule and has just been the best fit for me. And, teaching students independently allows me to go on tour and, travel more. And it's just more loose for me, which I like.
So how do you go on tour?
Lately, I've been touring through So Far Sounds. Have you heard of them?
No.
They're awesome, so everybody should look them up. It's called So Far Sounds. So Far is one word. And it's this idea, I think it started in England maybe in 2011, where two guys are just like, oh man, I really want to listen to music, but every time I go to the bar, I have to, everyone's screaming over the music, and it's not really the musical experience that you want. So he decided to do house concerts. And it's really exploded into this huge thing now. So what happens for me is I'll book a show through So Far Sounds, and it'll be 3 artists. Oh, say if you buy a ticket, so you don't know who you're going to see. So it's kind of like this, and you don't know where you're going to go. So all you have to do is say, oh, I want to go on this night, and I want it to be in Boston. And so you get the 2 tickets. You go to Boston. You have no idea who's going to be there. And then maybe 2 days before the show, they'll give you a location, which is usually strange. It'll be at like a bike shop or someone's living room, or maybe at a restaurant kitchen or something really weird. And then you'll bring your beer or your wine and your snacks, and you'll sit down. And the rules are you cannot go on social media, you cannot say anything, so the audience is quiet. And usually it's sold out, so you have a very nice, beautiful, quiet audience there for you. Mm-hmm. And then I'll go up there, introduce myself, and I'll play 5 songs. And then 2 more artists will do the same. And no one's allowed to leave until the show is over. So it's just really like a revolution in music in a sense, where people are reminded of the experience of music. So, the listener is given permission to be quiet and to really take in the music. And then, of course, the musician can sing to people who are actually listening. And, so it's been really cool. So I've been able to do tours through So Far Sounds by myself. And that's been like the most comfortable for me for touring, because touring can be very hard. Mm-hmm. So I might be doing one in May if things are freed from the corona pandemic. So if you go to lizbills.com, hopefully the first week of May, I will be on tour through Boston, New York, Philly, D.C., Baltimore. So,
cool.
Yeah.
So you started playing when you were 8 and then went to Berkeley eventually.
At 25.
At 25.
Yeah.
What'd you do after high school?
Well, I didn't even really make it through high school. I'm very much now like very peace and love. I'm like a wellness junkie. I'm like doing all the latest crazes, meditate, yoga, healthy eating, trying to be vegan, all that stuff. But, I'm this way because as a young person, I was bulimic and anorexic, and I was a drug addict, and I had a deep self-hatred for myself, and I was miserable. I had like all the gothic clothes and the piercings all over my face and the big pants. And so I dropped out of high school as a sophomore. And then I was really just in rehabs over and over again. And then I remember the night that it happened. Maybe I was 21 and I was in Syracuse at my mom's house. And I had like drugs and in front of me. And then I had this thought. I was like, I can either pick doing these drugs or I can pick being in a band and doing music. And I just picked music, and I'd been smoking a pack of cigarettes for 7 years, a pack a day. I quit that. I put an ad out on Craigslist. I found a rock and roll band. We're called Analog Heart, that I have been in for 10 years. And, I really just found self-love, and I found myself, and I found a purpose through music. So that's like the long and short of how I don't think I would be alive without music and that decision. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then after that, then I decided maybe I can go to Berkeley. Maybe I am like a normal person who can do these things, And so I auditioned and I got into Berkeley. And then I fell into teaching. I swore I'd never be a music teacher. I've always mostly had bad music teachers growing up. But it shocked me how much it feeds my soul. And I just love teaching so much. It's just funny how life works like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So what happened to get into drugs?
Yeah, I guess I'm a perfectionist and I'm very black and white. I don't know what really happened. I think it started with bulimia and anorexia, so obsession with food. So that was my first drug. And that took a long time to get under control, but it is possible. And I got that under control. And I think just the deep self-hatred, or then maybe a core belief that I am different from other people and I have nothing to offer and I'm not just hating myself. So the drugs easily just kind of came into my life through that sort of attitude and viewpoint on life. I surrounded myself with people who felt similar, and just kind of fell into drugs and alcohol, and really bad behaviors, risky behaviors. And that kind of went on for a long time until you really do have to make a choice. Do you want to live or do you want to die? Because, being an addict, it's not really living. So.
Yeah. So what were you doing at the time? You were living with your mom, or?
I was up to a certain point. I have what's called borderline personality disorder, though I'm growing out of it. So it can be a very scary, it's kind of compared to like bipolar to manic depression. It could be a very scary disease. So at the end, I was not safe for my mom and my brother to be around. So that's why when I was 19, she just took my brother and moved to Syracuse and left me in Haverhill. My dad wasn't around at the time. So I was just in a crack house for a while. But I figured it out, like, through my parents just letting go and letting me fend for myself. I crawled my way out of the dark hole somehow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what happened? Your mom left, and then you just moved into a house where everybody was doing drugs? Is that pretty much?
Yeah. It was like a crack house in a sense, but it was also like a friend of the family. So it was like a strange mixture of like feeling like I could be somewhere where people cared about me, but at the same time, there were people in the house doing hard drugs. There was someone in the house who died. It just wasn't a good environment, of course. But so I was just there for a while. And I think I moved out of there eventually. And the person there, he said I was going to come back, but I never came back. And yeah, I'm very black and white. So, when I made that decision, things really changed.
How did you get out of it when you made that decision?
Well, I don't want to say like I just made this decision overnight, like I was better. It's like You're always working on yourself your whole life, and I still work on myself a ton. But how did I get out of it? I mean, just through music, because I wanted to start a band, and I've always been a songwriter. And I just knew, like, I'd be trying to sing, like, smoking a pack a day, and, like, all my high notes started to cut out. And I could just see, like, very clearly that I'd have to pick one or the other. I can't really combine the two. I know some people can do that in music, but I just couldn't combine the two successfully. So I realized I had to quit the drugs and the drinking to pursue a band, put an ad online and then do rehearsals and all this crazy stuff. Like, I had to be in my right mind.
Did you check yourself into rehab or anything?
I've been in and out of rehabs all through like my teen years and early 20s. I think the last one was actually 2 years ago. I checked myself in for a little bit, but for grief and like emotional problems. So you never know when like stuff can just come back. So I thought I was over everything, but a traumatic situation had happened. But so I did check myself into many rehabs, and that was a big part of it. And also DBT and CBT therapy, which changes the way that you think about things and see the and how you see the world.
I don't know what that is.
It's like there's all different kinds of ways you can do it, but like it's a therapy that kind of it addresses the way you think. And the way I think, well, probably a lot of people, is just very negative. And they just change your thought process around. And then you work really close with a therapist who kind of figures out your personal cycle of like, usually there's a cycle that happens. So maybe for me, it's like a certain event or maybe a certain day, like a Friday. I will choose to overeat, and then I'll throw up, and then this will happen, and then I'll go to the drugs, and then this, and like this whole cycle.
Wow.
So they try to like cut it for you. Like, how can we stop you from getting to that point? And then I was medicated for my 20s too, to get to a better place. And now I'm not on any medication. Not that I'm against it, but I have gotten to a place where I can function and work on myself and have rational thoughts. And I'm pretty proud of what I've become.
Yeah, it's an impressive transformation.
Through all that pain and suffering, I've built... I've gone the other way because of it. And now I'm obsessed with healthy eating because I was not a healthy eater. I do smoke marijuana, but I limit it to the evening because I know that if I smoke it all day, I'm just a mess. So I smoke it in the evening, and I do drink, but it's just beer, and I try to limit that as well, but that's it.
So the 12-step, they say you're not supposed to do that, but you can.
Yeah, I guess like I think there's like some people wouldn't call me an addict just because I say that. So maybe I'm not an addict, but like if looking back, like I was definitely, something was going on.
Right.
And I could probably go to that place. But I think there's different levels of addicts. I have a family member who is an addict, a heroin addict, and they cannot touch anything because it'll just make you spiral into the other things. Mm-hmm. But for me, it's just... I've been able just to do this, and I'm fine, and it doesn't affect my daily life. And mm-hmm. So I don't know if it's just also growing up and facing myself and trying to love myself and love people, too. And that's helped a lot, too.
So what was your support system when you were trying to get clean and change your life?
My band.
Yeah.
It was like a slow process. Took a long time, even through the band and like coming out of it. I was in a terribly abusive relationship for maybe a big part of that. I don't know what the process was. I started to gravitate towards doing things that were positive. So instead of like on a Friday night, I could just have a bunch of beers and blackout drunk and do crazy stuff that I'd cry about the next day. I would have a show. It's on Friday night instead. So I have a show Friday and Saturday night. I can't get like obliviated because of that. So I just started putting like commitments into my life to have something to fight for, to live for. So, doing drugs is, I'm going to lose everything if I do the drugs. So the more that I had to lose, the less I was interested in doing mm-hmm. things like that. And, these days I'm also older now. I can't do like drugs like that. It just feels like... I'm, becoming an adult, So for me, it's also self-love. So I don't have I didn't do the 12 steps. Maybe I did NA and AA more for my eating problems for a long time. Mm-hmm. It's just like a lot of things. I try everything, I could go on forever. yeah. But yeah.
So, do you have a song about your process of going through that?
No, I don't know if I do. Maybe. Yeah, I guess the last few years I have been thinking like I have things to say, right? But when I sit down to write a song, I'm really just, I just write whatever kind of channels through me. Even though I would like to get to a place where I can, I want to write this kind of song and then write it. I want to write that kind of song. But I've been trying to do that this year, and it actually has been very hard, and it's making me not want to write. So but if I don't think I have a song, but it would be nice to have one so I could talk about it.
Well, do you want to play one anyway? Anything
sure,
you've written?
Yeah, sure.
And do you have any albums out?
I do. I've been in a rock and roll band for 10 years called Analog Heart, and we went on hiatus this year, which was very hard for me. But you can go to Analog Heart Band, or if you just Google Analog Heart, you will find us. We're the rock and roll band. We're not the other guys in England who write songs for weddings. But if you write Analog Heart Liz Bills, you'll find us. We're on Facebook, Instagram. We're all over the place. So I think we have 3 records with them, and solo I have 1 record up, and I'm coming out with 9 songs this summer on the solo end, which has been surprisingly a lot harder than I thought it would be emotionally.
Yeah.
To make that transition, because I guess I'm grieving, and I'm grieving the loss of my band and my identity with the rock and roll band. And then facing myself, and of course, all those questions come up again. Am I good enough to be solo? It's just been, and I'm lonely now without the band. It's just been very tough.
Yeah.
But good things are hard, and I just keep reminding myself that. Analog Heart in the beginning was very hard too. So it's just been crazy. And
what are we gonna hear now?
I guess I can sing you guys my newest song, which is kind of about this. So it's it's an interesting song because I started it saying, is it over, like me in the music business, because the song's called Is It Over? Because I was just sick of everyone giving me their opinions about my music, and just like it can be such a hard scene, like when everyone's telling you like what they think you should do, and like, but what do I want to do? And if everybody doesn't like it, that should still be okay with me. So the song is about, is it over? Like, is the music business, is the music over for me? And also with my bandmates. And it's just about a lot of things being over, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
What's the name of it?
It's called Is It Over? It's brand new, so I might make a mistake or two. That's all right. Is it over? I can't say no. I can't say for sure. 'Cause I've been searching my whole life, looking for you. But is it you that I should be searching for? 'Cause you can be such a cruel lover. Playing all these games with my soul. But if you wanna rock, you got to let it roll. Can we get back to where we started again? Can we get back? Oh, no, no, I don't think I can. Yeah, well, I think this might be the end. Move it up. Can we get back to where we started, my friend? Can we get back? Oh, baby. No, I don't think that I can. Yeah, well, I think this might be the end. Oh, no. It was just us against the whole wide world. It was just us, baby, just the other day. I've lost all of my words, and I have lost all of my truth. Oh, but to find out, I've got to lose you. Can we get back to where we started again? Can we get back? Oh, baby. No, I don't think that we can. Yeah, well, I think this might be the end. Move it up. Can we get back to where we started, my friend? Can we get back? Oh, no, I don't. I tried and I can't. Yeah, well, I think this might be the end. Can we get back? Can we get back? 'Cause it's over. I can say, boy, I can say for sure.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You got quite a voice.
Ah, thanks. It's all my emotion. Very emotional.
Yeah.
That's probably why. Yeah.
And you did like a kind of a Janis Joplin-ish even kind of thing, even with just an acoustic guitar, which is impressive.
Thank you.
So what did you play in the band? Were you playing guitar and vocal, or?
In Analog Heart, it started actually as Liz Bills, and just on piano, a lot of angsty. This song was kind of angsty, but I usually don't write angsty songs anymore. But it's very angsty piano music. And then I met my very dear best friend, Jesse Cohen, who is the lead guitarist and co-writer of Analog Heart. Mm-hmm. He came in for an audition on piano, and then he's, preferred to play electric guitar. And then it kind of morphed into this co-writing thing where if you think about like Paramore a little bit and the Killers were kind of like that. And then we had Austin Ferrante join at 17 years old at the time, and he was just a killer drummer. And so, I played keys in the band a little bit, and I played guitar and, of course, sing and tambourine and percussion in that sense. Yeah.
So you were the front person?
Yeah. I'm probably mostly known just for being emotional, so my stage presence, is just very... it's a lot of energy.
Yeah, I can tell just from being here with you and I only. It's impressive.
Yeah, sometimes it's too much, but...
Working
on that balance,
If you're a performer, I don't know that it can be too much, though.
Yeah, so. It can be. I've had a voice disorder for a long time that I'm helping people with online called muscle tension dysphonia. So it's this tension in the body that comes from maybe like you're feeling anxious before shows for like 10, 20 years, and then your nervous system gets into this place of feeling like you're in danger all the time. So your muscles start to tense all the time. And then for a while I couldn't talk or sing because my muscles are so tight in my throat. So now the last maybe 7 years of my life I've been working towards a balance. Like, how do I be aggressive and emotional but still like not going to kill myself? Right. And not be able to use my voice or my body and be in so much pain all the time. So, yeah. Well,
you certainly did a good job with whatever you were doing because it sounds great.
Yeah, it's working.
So when you went to work after Berkeley, did you start teaching right away? Is that sort of where you went, or did you start performing more?
Like all through Berkeley, I was in the band gigging like a ton, but I needed like an income that was, when you're gigging with original music and you are in a situation where you can't do a lot of covers, because for me, like I had the voice disorder, a lot of still like anxiety and emotional issues. So I couldn't do those 3-hour gigs where you get paid like a lot more than maybe solo. You get paid like $1, and with the covers maybe $300 or something. So,
right.
So I was like, I need to find a job, and teaching, of course. Like, what else other than playing covers or teaching as a musician? And so I was like, I'll do this until I become famous, because at the time I was in American Idol. I had made it to the top 30
really?
At Hollywood, and I had these delusions of grandeur or whatever. But it's a lot tougher to get to the top.
Were you on TV?
I was, yeah. I had a 20-minute segment, and it was brutal, but they were very kind to like showing me in a great light. So I just fell into teaching, and at first, I think I started at Guitar Center. And they gave me, I had no idea what I was doing. I can sing, but I don't know how to teach that. Like, how do you teach someone how to sing?
Yeah, it's a different thing.
And it's very emotional, too. Like, you have to get through to the person. They have to feel comfortable with you, too. So it's almost like therapy, music lessons, in a sense. Because you have to deal with, like, how you feel, too, to be able to sing or play in front of someone. There's always a lot of feelings involved. And also, your voice is an extension of you, so I can't really be like, oh, you stink, or like, right. I had to be very careful. So I feel bad for my students in the beginning. I just used as like guinea pigs. I really just kind of winged it and tried my best to get through. And then I started taking my own vocal lessons, trying to educate myself on like all of these things, like head voice, chest voice, breath work. And then, of course, through the voice disorder, I started working with like specialists in voice. And then I just became more and more obsessed with learning about how to sing the right way and how to teach that too and how to help other people. And so that it just kind of spiraled from there. And then I left Guitar Center and I started teaching independently. And now I make a full-time living off teaching about 28 to 30 students a week. And it's been, I have to like pinch myself. I can't believe I can just go to work and like right now I'm writing a song with a 12-year-old girl and we're figuring out how to put the chorus together. And it's just such a cool job. Like I'm always learning and growing, and I feel like I'm having a direct impact on the next generation. And I really care and love my students, and I care about them as people and musicians. Mm-hmm. So it's really just brought like another dimension to my life. Just so fulfilling.
Yeah. So, where do you perform now?
Yeah. So now that I broke up with both of my bands, really. I broke up with Aloft Heart this year, and I broke up with Liz Bills and the Change, which was a folk band of 2 years, and we were doing pretty good. We won the New England Roots Act of the Year, and then Aloft Heart had won the Rock Act of the Year. And like you go from like playing, we opened for Bon Jovi, and we got to play Strange Creek, which is a cool festival, and like playing all these cool festivals, and then I like broke up with everyone, and now I'm like back to square one. Really.
Well, I wouldn't say square one, but...
like in a sense, it's humbling, because now it's just like, oh, I really do have to start over. Like I have nothing online to show for this. So just interesting.
Well, with the folk band, at least your name was in it. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
That doesn't hurt.
Yeah, and I can always, of course, play Aloft Heart songs. But, I just play all over New England. In Lowell, like what are some venues here? Like I play Uncharted, of course. Well,
they're gone, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. The Warthen's still there.
Yeah, the Warthen's.
That was the first gig I ever played, actually. I guess like any spot, if you're around, like I've played it, like the Middle East.
Right.
There's not like one's the Chit Chat when it was around, of course, was our home spot. Right now I'm just playing all online shows. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of So Far shows, a lot of listening room shows, more alone, which is strange. And yeah, I think this year I'm playing Harry's Hill, which is, they have a bunch of festivals. So I'm playing 3, and I'm headlining Convergence Festival in June. It's still on. And it's a different kind of festival where I guess we're going to work with food. It's like a whole experience. So you learn how to make the dough for like pretzels, and then you make the pretzel on the fire, and then we have a puppet show where we make the puppets, and then all female acts that weekend. I'm playing Friday and Saturday in June. So just go to harryshill.net. And then in, of course, August, they have their Hoedown. It's just a hippie festival celebrating the harvest of marijuana and just community and togetherness and music, of course. And then there's another one in October, which is the Harvest Ball. Oh, I guess that's when they harvest the weed plant.
Yeah.
But Harry's Hill has been incredible. Like, they have a great stage. They've been so supportive of me and my transitions, too. Mm-hmm. And just the community is so loving, and you really feel like you're going home when you go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those are the only 3 shows still booked. And my tour, I don't know if it's going to happen. But I'm releasing so much music this year that I should be playing around, the markets. So I'm playing New England, Boston, New York, Philly, Baltimore, Washington, Connecticut. So just the very local regional market.
Are you just driving?
Right now, yes. I don't know what it means to be solo. Like, I've made the choice, but like I keep having all these crazy ideas to maybe get me out of being solo. So my first crazy idea was throw out all my originals because they're not good enough and just like write with the songwriter of Aloft Heart. But then I'm like, wait a minute, I can't do that. So I had to like really let go of that band, even though I was trying to hold on and lie to myself. And now, like, I don't even know. Like, do I want to be in a full band? Yes. But like as a 34-year-old, like then you have to get the van, and then you have to make sure everyone's on the same page, and then you have to be rehearsed well enough, and then you have to know what kind of drum parts you want, which has been a struggle, and you have to book the shows, and you have to pay the band. And so I guess I'm just asking myself all these questions, and I'm also just being very honest. Like, it's hard, and I don't know.
Yeah.
So right now touring is just me.
Well, it's certainly simpler to tour with one
Yeah. And it's more relaxing a lot of the time and way cheaper. But there is some, like, I miss, like, being able to not play guitar and just be in front of an audience where I can move my body and be free from my instrument and have the whole, rhythm section and the electric guitar. And so there's something to say about that energy that I don't really want to let go of, but maybe I do need to let go of it to figure out who I am by myself as an artist. I don't know.
So, you got another song you want to do, and then we're going to take a short break?
Sure, yeah. Okay, so what song should I do? I guess I can do a relaxing one.
Okay.
I don't have many of these, even though I want to write more sort of relaxing songs for my voice and my nervous system. And so this song is called Mama's Song, and I wrote it for my mom, and I'm releasing it on May 1st. And I will have like Mother's Day cards with the download card for sale. Just go to lizbills.com. That'll be up soon. And also, if you would like to, I'm making a music video that will release on Mother's Day of this song. And I want everyone and their moms, or if you're a mother and your daughter or your son, to be in the video. So I will be accepting everybody's pictures and videos just to put them all together.
Okay. It's a cool idea.
Yeah, so I thought I would really try to celebrate moms this year because my mom was awesome. She still is.
Yeah.
Hey, Mom, just calling to tell ya that I'm doing just fine. It's funny, as the years go by, we're becoming more alike. The younger me would have been embarrassed, but the older is tried and true. Sometimes I catch myself and smile, 'cause they remind me of you. When I take the long way home, I sing like we used to do. And even though you've moved far upstate, I'd like to think that you're singing too. Mama, I am who I am, and it's all because of you. Hey, Mom, just calling to tell ya I'm sorry for all the mess. I know raising 2 kids on your own, it ain't easy. You did your best. Oh, and before we hang up, I just wanted to remind ya that the fault is not yours to bear. Danny and I may be broken, but our mother's always there. When I take the long way home, I sing like we used to do. And even though you've moved far upstate, I'd like to think that you're singing too. Mama, I'm so proud to say that I'm taking after you, yeah. Now looking back on all the years gone by, I can see quite clearly now all you sacrificed, and you waited until we were grown to focus on yourself. I'd always been too selfish to care about anyone else, but how the tables turned and now I'm the one who sets it. I'm taking care of my family, and now I know where I get it. And maybe one day I will have a daughter of my own. She will put me through the ringer, but in the end she will know. La, da, 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 da. Mama, I'm so proud to say that I'm taking after you. Mama, I am who I am, and it's all because of you. I love you, moms. Thank you.
So this is the usual place in the show where I talk about the memberships. We're looking for memberships at the Hearing Room, and the memberships are $100 a year. You get $5 off all events, and some events are $5. So that's, if you do the math, 5 minus 5, it's free. And that's for the open mics and the jams and stuff like that. Those are $5, but free for members if you wish. We always have suggested donation, though. We won't keep anybody out just because they can't afford the $5. But the membership helps us pay our rent, which is very important. Otherwise, we can't stay open. So the rent, the utilities, those expenses we're trying to put onto a membership program, and we're trying to get 200 members, and that will cover us for the year.
Nice.
And then once we are covered for the year, we can buy all the cool stuff that we know people expect us to buy, and we can replace all the cables people seem to walk off with.
Yeah, like socks.
Yeah, they are. They are. It's amazing how cables just go away.
Yeah.
It's like the drawer you see full of cables, and then suddenly it's down, 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 down. So there are expenses to keep the Hearing Room going, and the memberships help us do that. Yeah. So $100 a year also gets you a T-shirt. It's we do different T-shirts at different points. So right now we have our second T-shirt, and it's pretty nice. You can get that with your membership. And we can also give you a membership card, which is made from recycled materials.
Oh, nice.
So all kinds of good stuff. And also you get exclusive access to the bigger shows where we know we're probably going to sell out. Members get the tickets first. So if there's a show you might want to see and you want to make sure you can get it, membership, if you are involved with the Hearing Room, does get you into those shows, or at least first crack at those shows. And then we also have a lot of stuff going on, like the events and everything that we need help for. And being a member could also mean you help us out with some of that stuff, like running the door. That's important. I got to scan people's tickets with my phone, which is thrilling. But it's a cool thing to do because you get to say hi to everybody and get to know the audience a little.
Yeah, you're helping such a cool space. I'm going to become a member today. Let's do it.
Yeah. Thank you, Liz, for becoming a member. So we got two more, Alex and Liz, today. Yeah. And we have also to thank the Greenville Junction Shoppy. Greenville Junction Shoppy is a upcycling shop. They do upcycling, which means they get stuff that's used and they refurbish it and make it look cool and ready to use again. It's really, I go and I see at a dumpster sometimes people just throwing away all kinds of stuff that is fine. Mm-hmm. And it's just because, they have to leave or for whatever reason, but it's a waste. Greenville Junction Shop tries to take that to a different level and go and pick up those things that people throw away and resell them because they can be used. Especially if you got a shelf and it's not broken, why are you throwing it away? Yeah. You don't have room, I get it, but you should call the Greenville Junction Shop because they have estate and garage cleanout services too. So they'll help you get rid of that stuff. And everybody's got stuff they want to get rid of like that. And I actually have a piano I'd really like to get rid of because it's been sitting and it doesn't work. And, I would like to get rid of it. And maybe somebody can fix it up or use the parts or something like that. Mm-hmm. So it's good to upcycle. And the Greenville Junction Shop helps with that. So they're at Facebook Marketplace at Greenville, JUNKTION, SHOPPE, Greenville Junction Shoppy. So check them out on Facebook Marketplace, and they will soon have an actual store in Greenville, New Hampshire that should be opening late spring or early summer. So I'm back here with Liz Bills. And so, Liz, what was it like to tour with the band? Did you rent a van and do that kind of stuff?
Yeah. We did it a few times. I think we kind of shied away from the whole touring thing, which is why I'm more sort of adamant about doing it now. Mm-hmm. But we did it, and we rented a van. And, went to New York and Philly and all like the places. It was fun. It was hard and but fun. I don't have too many band experiences. Maybe just like weird ones. We've traveled places like New York because we won, we got to open for Daughtry, and we got to talk to him for an hour. It was part of the package, and they flew us out to New York. So we had that experience, and then we won, recording, so we flew back to New York together and did that. But yeah, I guess I don't have any, awesome, crazy tour stories, really.
Well, Daughtry is... Who else did you get to meet?
With Analog Heart, the two most exciting performances were Bon Jovi and Daughtry. Mm-hmm. And, Bon Jovi, we opened up for him at Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. And we got to open up for him because we won his opening act contest. And we got to meet him, and he was very humble. And what I'll always remember, I guess, from that experience is I had written down everything that I was going to say on stage, talk about. Mm-hmm. 'Cause I'm not a very good talker. And Bon Jovi saw it, and he said, "Don't say any of that, just say what's in your heart." And so that's what I did.
Cool.
So that was a cool experience.
And when you were on American Idol, what was that like?
I have a love-hate relationship with these shows, more so on the hate side lately. Yeah. But, I'd been trying out for American Idol in my 20s. I think it was 9 times. I was rejected 9 times. And this must have been over the course of 6 years of rejections. But I just, through all those rejections, you kind of build up a tough skin if you want to continue doing it, because otherwise it could just destroy you. Mm-hmm. And so finally, one year was my year, and it was the year that I decided I wasn't going to prep for the show. I'm just going to go in and sing what I know and screw them if they don't like me. And so I went in, and they kept saying yes for some reason this time, and then I made it, past the executive producer auditions. And I really believe it's because they were looking for that hippie child sort of Janis vibe that year. So I just got lucky in a sense. Also, I know I'm talented, but I really got lucky because it's very hard to get through. You can have all the talent in the world, and they'll say no. So I kept going through, and then I finally made it to the judge round, and I got to meet Mariah Carey, Keith Urban, Randy Jackson, and Nicki Minaj, and the host, whatever his name is.
I don't know his name.
I forget, yeah. And I went in, and I was able to perform. I was just proud of myself because I was able to perform in front of Mariah Carey, and Nicki Minaj was rolling her eyes at me, and she was giving me the stink face. I don't know if it was part of the script, she was deciding to not like me. And I was like, wow, I can perform and sing through this whole performance while Nicki Minaj is giving me the stink face, and I'm still going strong. I don't even care. And so in that sense, I was very proud of myself. Just coming from not being able to do anything in my life and being so shy to be able to sing in front of these people, it's crazy. And then so I got to go to Hollywood, and then they flew me out to Hollywood, and at that point they're paying for everything, which is great. And I just noticed that they do an interrogation style where they fly you in and they cut half of you right away. So everyone's in this panic mode and they're exhausted. So they cut half of us, and I shockingly got through that round. And then they're like, okay, now, after all of that trauma, we're going to put you with these people, other singers, and we're going to have you rehearse all night, and then tomorrow morning you're going to sing and dance in a choreographed thing, and then we're going to cut half of you. So it's and so then they try to take sleep away from you and that credible stress. So then people start to break, and in the way that they do in interrogation, no sleep, high pressure. trying to get like some sort of footage for TV. And then, so what had happened was, of course, we're all breaking. I'm crying. I'm like, I can't believe this. I'm going to make a fool of myself on national television. I'm flying home. And my boyfriend, Alex, talked me down. He's like, just stay. You'll regret that. And then I noticed what they were trying to do was trying to create a storyline with me and my group because we did not like each other. And I'm a very likable person, but I'm not one that does well without sleep. So I was just very quiet. And the other girls were very loud. And so they thought my quietness was me thinking I'm better than them. And so, of course, the camera crew goes up to them and they say, don't you not like Liz Bills? Like, she's such a jerk. And they're like, yeah, we hate Liz Bills. And like, she's a jerk. She's going down and we're just going to stomp all over her. And like, I'm like, and then they go up to me and they're like, don't you hate those girls? And I'm like, no, I don't hate them. Like, I had enough sense to know they're going to put this on national television.
Right.
So like, no, we're just tired. And so thank God, like, they use that story as I'm the hippie child that everyone loves, and poor Liz, like these girls are so mean and cruel to her. And so that's the story they spun, but they could have spun it like a different way if I, fed into that crap.
Was this recent?
In 2013, so I was 27. And so you don't know what kind of edit they're going to give you. You actually have to sign a form that says if you kill yourself, that the family can't come after American Idol. So they really will like be brutal.
I now hate those shows based on what you're saying.
Yeah, they don't care about you or your career. They just want good television.
I didn't like it to begin with, but now I really dislike it.
Yeah. One girl had a seizure. Of course, they didn't put that on TV because people are like, people do go home and probably kill themselves. Or I saw some guy come out with tears in his eyes. He was like, oh my God, I just realized they were laughing at me and I'm just a joke. Like, people don't understand how people quit their music careers after this. So I'm just like pretty against it now. But I was proud of myself for the process, and they showed me in a good light. They showed me like passing through the round where all the other girls were cut. And I think because of that story, they chose to keep me because they had a storyline. And then the next week they cut me, but I didn't do anything weird or like crazy for TV, so they didn't even show it. So I never got any bad publicity from American Idol. And now I've been trying out for The Voice every 6 months just because I'm a very competitive person, but I haven't been able to make it past the producer round. And at this point, it's not going to probably help the career to be on those shows anyways.
Right.
So, yeah.
Wow, that's quite an ordeal.
Yeah, they're pretty brutal. You have to be very strong, very focused, and leave your emotions out of it if you want to really make it very far. And you just have to be like lucky, because I've seen them like say no to like Whitney Houston pretty much. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Well, it's amazing that you got through all that and made it to the show.
A lot of it was just like the stars aligned, like just for me to get that far. I didn't do, if you'd ask me, what did you do? Like I was just myself, and that was probably the biggest thing, which sometimes is hard to be just yourself on those shows. Yeah. Because you want to impress people so badly.
So now you play solo more. Do you have another one that's sort of like the first one you did, that's sort of full voice?
Yeah. I'll see if I can sing it today.
Okay.
Yeah, most of them are full voice. Okay, so let me see. Maybe I'll do my new one. So this one's coming out this summer. I just recorded the single, and it's full band. It's my first experience recording with session players. Okay. And just telling them what I want and then laying it all down. So it's like kind of like a disco, Motown soul track. And I don't know if I can sing the chorus full voice, but it'll still be strong. Okay. And so it's called Real Love, and it's about me and Alex. Me and Alex Sabot have been together for like 8 years. And I noticed that anybody can fall in love, because people say love, it's hard to find. Like, I disagree. If you're a loving, open person who's looking for love, you're gonna find it. But the hard part is staying together forever. Right. So 1, 2, 10, 50 years. Like, how do people do it?
Well, actually, Alex's show is like right before your show. So,
nice. Yeah. So you guys will hear a lot about him. Yeah. And it's been mostly easy, but some years have been hard, and because of those years, our love has grown stronger. But I could see it could have been easy just to break up, Right. So that's what this song is kind of about. It goes, baby, don't know if I can sing Love Today. Baby boy. Oh, wait, I need a capo.
Okay.
It's going to be easier to sing like this. I'll just retune.
All right.
Yeah, I'm still learning how to sing this chorus. It's pretty hard vocally. Baby boy, it's been a long and winding journey, yeah, baby boy. And our love has changed like the road before us. Looking back at the start when we ate a lot of honey, lit by the moon so big and bright and sunny. Everything was sweet, whispers in my head. All our friends rolled their eyes because they were jealous. We were making love for dinner, lunch, and breakfast. Romeo and Juliet had nothing on us. As the years roll by, we've been tested by the hands of time. But the years don't lie. Broken hearts put back together are the strongest kind. 'Cause real love, come on baby, show me what your heart is made of. Real love, it ain't hard to find real love. No, no. Real love, come on baby, show me what your heart is made of. Real love, it ain't hard to find real love. No, no. Real love. It takes two, but depending on the weather, dancing the tango and harmony together, everything in tune, synced up to the beat. Other days we just cannot feel the music. Whoever's feeling stronger leads us through it. And darling, rest your feet as the years go by. Our relationship has rebirth and died many times. What they say is right. Better off for words, our rhythm will adjust to time. 'Cause usually there's a lot more backup vocals, but thank you. Still figuring out how to sing that one.
Well, you did a pretty good job as far as I could tell.
Thank you.
That was awesome. So the things that you've gone through, they're pretty difficult. But it seems like you're doing pretty well at this point. How do you see yourself in your career right now?
I think I'm doing a great job, trying the best that I can. And yeah, I'm really proud of myself. Doing a lot of meditation, a lot of yoga these days, a lot of being honest and speaking my truth. I think we all get into like these phases where I'm like very much so a people pleaser, and what that really means is I'm a confrontation avoider. So I avoid confrontations because I don't want to hurt people's feelings.
Right.
And that's why, and so this year I've been really trying to work on that part of myself because I know that something was wrong with Analog Heart. I felt like I had to get out of there, but I didn't know how. And then by like practicing speaking my truth and confronting it and having that painful conversation, then I was freed from that. And so that's what I'm all about this year. And then just being comfortable, being uncomfortable, and like being gray. Like, I don't know what's going to happen this year. I don't know if I'm going to have any success with this solo thing. But doing it anyways and kind of like face, and that voice in my head that's saying it's not good enough. I'm like, it's okay. If I don't like my music, that's okay too with me, but I need to accept it. Like, if I can just accept it, like that's where I want to like be. And some days, I love my music. Some days, like I'm not feeling it. Like, but I think, emotionally, health-wise, I can keep a job these days. I can, I keep relationships. I'm very blessed to be able to, be with you and do these kinds of things and like share my music at whatever level, whether that be with just myself, one person, 100 people, 1,000. So I try to keep that, I try to keep grounded and just being grateful for what I have now. Because I think people in this industry and just in general, unhappiness comes from always wanting more. And I'm trying to, just be okay with what I have and who I am right now. Like, Well,
you're welcome to play here anytime, too.
Yeah, I'd love to.
It's, we do some Sunday night stuff, so that might work
nice.
sometime.
Yeah,
so.
I'd love it.
So, I really want to hear something else.
Okay.
You got another slower one? Or softer, anyway?
I have I have a new sort of spooky sort of...
Oh, I love spooky.
Yeah, I'm going to try that one.
If they're spooky, I definitely want to hear it. Is it like a Halloween song?
I actually might release it on Halloween. It's like a song about a hit and run. Oh. And I was trying to write it like as a ghost story, but I tried to rewrite it, but I couldn't. I don't know. My uncle has a great ghost story that I do want to make into a song. So this is more just like I call it the spooky song, but maybe it's a hit and run song.
Yeah. There's actually a song that always had an impact on me. I got into murder ballads recently for a little while.
I love murder stories, so I probably like murder ballads.
Well, a lot of them are like from old, like in England and Ireland, and it's like somebody's in love and they kill the other person or something out of jealousy.
Yeah.
There's lots of them.
Oh, but I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, they're called murder ballads. But there was one I really like called Burke and Hare, which is about Burke and Hare who were in Scotland eating people after they would.
Oh, I haven't heard of that.
Sorry, not eating people. I don't know why I'm saying that. They're not eating. They were digging them up for medical stuff. Yeah. I think I'm confusing my horror movies. Yeah. But they would dig up these bodies and then they'd sell them to medical schools.
Oh, right, yeah.
And then the medical schools could have, but they were grave robbing, basically.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, before people thought it was okay to do that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I heard a little bit about it.
Yeah. All right, well, let's hear your spooky song.
Okay. I don't even know if it has a title. I should probably... Oh, it's called Devil's Eye.
Okay.
Remember it was midnight, she was cold, told me she was tired, gonna walk home. Had a bit too much to offer her ride. This was the last time I saw her alive. I don't remember much, the gin was a mistake. I woke up in the morning with a splitting headache. Checked my phone, 100 texts. My friend had been found dead. Oh, the sun goes down. Oh, it happens to this town. Oh, feel it all around. Oh, when the moon is high. Oh, feel the devil's eye. Oh, takes you in the night. Told me they wanted a conversation. Where were you between 1 and 5? The band a hit and run and she didn't survive. It's got me wondering, how did I get back? My car was in the driveway and noticed a crack in the front right side. Hardly visible. I know you think I'm crazy, but what would you do? Oh, you never know. Oh, you're capable. Oh, you might sell your soul. Oh, you'd be surprised. Oh, say you do what's right. Oh, but you weren't there that night. You weren't there that night. Na na na.
Certainly didn't sound spooky exactly, but the topic.
I originally set out to write a spooky song, so I've just been calling it that, even though it's not.
It's not exactly. Yeah. It's a good song. I like it.
Thank you.
But it's definitely got a rock edge, So.
Yeah. So I'll just call it the Devil's Eye.
Yeah, you could do a sort of Black Sabbath thing if you want to make it a Halloween song. So.
Oh, I know. Yeah, we'll have the bass lines, just super.
Right.
We're trying to write all these cool little sort of rock, but try to mix folk and rock together, in a way. We're getting there, but we're working on the drums now, which is a bit hard. So.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
So where are you recording?
I recorded 8 songs last March with Sean McLaughlin of 37 Foot Productions in Rockland, which is a cool name for a town.
Rockland, where?
Mass. Yeah, so it's just right outside Boston. And I recorded those songs, and then I like kind of nervous breakdown and told Sean I was going to throw them all away. And now I've done a 360 and through processing and grief and all of that. I'm like, I'm going to release them all. So we're releasing them this summer, along with a new single that we just recorded last weekend. So,
great.
Yeah, it's been quite the rough road.
Yeah, so does the new album have a name?
Not yet. I can only think, when I think of the album, I can only think of things like colors. It seems yellow and bright and young and me. And that's all I've really come up with right now. So maybe something to do with something bright. But I feel like everyone's coming out with records right now. It's funny, like we're all so connected. My favorite band, Daughtry, came out with a record called The Light. And then Grace Potter, my other favorite singer, came out with a record called Daylight. So it's like, I don't know what I'll call the record yet.
Well, I'm sure it'll be good.
Yeah, it'll be good.
So do you have any advice for people who sort of try to go through some of the things you went through? Like, what would you say to somebody who's getting an audition on American Idol?
I would say, so someone who's going to an audition, I would say just have fun, remember why you do music, and just be yourself, and screw them if they say no.
Right.
And I probably just tell them my story, like, I've seen the Whitney Houstons get no's, so it's really not about that yes or no. So just go in without an expectation is how I approach it. And often, 90% of the time when I leave that audition with a no, I'm happy because I've prepared myself mentally. But I have been the person where I have not been prepared, or just sometimes you can't help it, and sobbing, crying for weeks. So I've been on both ends, and I noticed the best end to be at is the no expectation one.
Right.
Just, love yourself, do your best, and have a good time because it's a cool experience, and don't put too much weight on it.
It takes a lot of guts to do that, too, because you're asking for criticism. I mean, that's...
Yeah, to judge you. Yeah, right. And then after I always ask why is it no? Because I want to, get better. And, yeah, right. So just getting used to critiques, which sometimes you want, and sometimes it's just don't want to hear it.
Right.
Because everyone has their opinion about, your voice or you or your look or whatever. It's just, yeah.
Well, it's different. The stuff that I go to with the folk musicians tends to be really supportive.
Yeah.
We support each other, and there's nobody there saying you suck.
Yeah.
Even though there are instances where that might be appropriate.
Oh, yeah.
We don't do that.
Usually the music community is just so loving and supportive, and it's a very safe place to be, and that's what music should be.
Right.
It shouldn't be about the American Idol. It shouldn't be about judgment and all of that. It should just be because everyone should be able to sing and play and not be afraid of that person judging them. Mm-hmm. And I think American Idol has made it so a lot of people don't want to sing because they have this idea that you have to be this perfect, insane, belting kind of singer. But they're really just kind of destroying music and what it's really all about,
Do you think that people who are judging music, like the judges on the show, do you think that they have sort of a conflict of interest? In other words, if they tell somebody they're really good, maybe they feel like it's not, it takes away from them. Do you think that's the case? You
mean if Mariah Carey says you're good, then she's not so good or something?
Kind of like that. Or maybe she thinks you're better than she is, so they criticize you and they let somebody in who's not quite as...
I think they don't even really... I guess I'm under the impression that it's this whole team of people picking, and the people in the front, like Mariah Carey and stuff, are just sort of they're part of it, but they're part of this big thing. So maybe Mariah Carey will have a list, and they're we want you to say yes to this person, no to this person, yes to this person, and here's why, and that, and this, and they have kind of a storyline already set up. When Nicki Minaj didn't like me, it almost felt like it was kind of written into the script. But also they want to play off of real life things. But no, I don't think they do that. I think they're pretty comfortable in their careers at that point where they don't have to feel threatened. Or at least that's my own interpretation. I don't see them feeling threatened. But yeah, I think it's all personal opinions. So
right.
Yeah.
Well, you dealt with it really well, though. I have to admit, during your last song, when you said, right after you said that, I looked up Liz Bill's American Idol, and there's a really nice article about you saying you came out ahead. Like,
oh, nice.
Because those girls were not nice, and you were not falling for it. And that's great.
Yes, I tried to create a storyline, and it just worked out on my behalf because I don't know why the girls thought it was okay to say that on TV, but these idiots.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's sort of like people saying stuff on the internet they shouldn't be saying, you know.
Yeah, and just swept away in the moment. Like I try just to love back, even if people they really were assholes to me. But, you know, I'll still love them. You know?
Well, a lot
of pressure.
It's behind your back too, like they.
Yeah,
you know. And then you get to watch it, which is really funny.
Yeah, so thank God. Yeah, it all went well, and yeah, I think you can choose to be strong, and you can change your attitude about life and things, and that's what I've been all about. Just trying to change my view and my attitude to work for me, no matter what. Like you can really kind of eliminate all that expectation, just to be happy. Like that's like everyone's goal, I think.
Yeah. Just
to be happy, and like, what does that mean, and like, what does it take? And maybe it's already there, but how do you access it?
Do you still go to open mics?
Not lately, but I probably should start getting into doing that again.
Oh, you ought to come here.
I definitely will.
We do a nice Sunday one that I do, which is everybody'd love you. I mean, you know, and there's some really good players though.
Oh, nice.
And people, you know, are very supportive. So you're welcome to come.
Yeah, I need to get back into it.
You can come with Alex.
Yeah, of course. Well, we're members now, so we'll be here.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I'd like to hear one more before we go.
Okay.
And I'll leave it up to you.
Okay. One more. Maybe I'll play something off the new record that's coming out this summer. Okay, so this song is I gotta reach in, called Gasoline.
Okay.
I have a lot of fun playing this one. And this one's about I don't know, kind of like wanting to be with someone intimately, but you know, if you go that route, like you're just like destroy the relationship and everything. So
yeah,
it's kind of like gasoline. Like, why would you do that to yourself?
So I'm noticing something that you're tuning and talking. That's something that's hard to do. That's a great skill.
Oh yeah, usually I don't. Because
you're
trying to get better at it, but
well, because you're performing, so the audience doesn't want to see you just tune and not say anything. You got to keep talking.
I know. Sometimes I do, and like I try not to apologize for it. I'm also doing a thing where I'm trying not to say sorry this year too much. I'm like, it has to be the right tuning, and the audience can deal with it, you know. But of course, talking over it is more comfortable.
Doing pretty well, and it's a good skill to have.
Yeah, I'd say just practice tuning all the time, and then you just get more comfortable with it.
Yeah. Also, it helps to have an electronic tuner on board, which you've also got.
Oh yeah, I've got that. Even though I would probably recommend the Snark, I feel like it's a little bit more accurate. But
is it? I have an onboard tuner too. I like it. I like this one for convenience. It
it's always just right there for you. So yeah, I would say always make sure you're tuned up, no matter what it takes. It's okay.
I tune because I care.
Yes, yeah, care about other people's ears.
That's right.
Yes. Okay. Oh yeah. Let's see if I can play this one. Okay.
I see a fire beyond the trees, and the way it breathes, the wind must be shifting. I see a fire beyond the trees, and it's teasing me. Well, if you walk a little deeper where the footpath turns, expect the lessons learned. I can't avoid the burn, but baby, I see a fire beyond on the trees, and it's teasing me. What would happen if I poured some gasoline all over myself? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Could the heat be that sweet, or would I end up crying for help? Ooh, ooh, ooh. What would happen if I lit a match and played with this burning kiss? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Once ignited, natural rock and weird, if I'd melt into his lips. Some gasoline all over myself. Could the heat be that sweet, or would I end up crying for help? What would happen if I lit a match and played with this burning kiss? Once ignited, not sure I can really fight it, melt into his lips. Oh,
That was great.
Thanks.
Well, this was a lot of fun having you on the show.
Glad it wasn't too boring. I was worried.
No, not at all. And you sound great. I'm glad you're going to join the hearing room and be around here for a while.
Yeah.
We will be glad to have you. And you can, you can participate in all kinds of events here. So feel free.
Yay.
And I already think we should talk about a show.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So anyway, anything else to add?
No. I mean, you can find me at lizbills.com. If you go on YouTube, it's just youtube.com/lizbills, and you can find tutorials on singing and also just original music. And on Instagram, you can find me at lizbills, and I think that's about it. And just stay tuned. Find me on Spotify. I'm releasing a lot of music. If you actually follow me on Spotify, it really helps me, and helps to have the numbers up. So help me.
Do you get any money from them?
It's not about the money yet. It's about like labels and billboards will look at Spotify now, and festivals and the booking agents and the managers. They all look at Spotify and Instagram numbers. So you have to have a high number on both, or at least look like you're doing good. So yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, I'll see you guys soon.
And I wanted to mention again, we're at hearingroom.net, and you can check out all our events and how to become a member, and check out also the Greenville Junction Shoppy. Greenville, JUNKTION SHOPPE Greenville Junction Shop, where you can find your upcycled materials and get estate and garage cleanout. So this has been fun, and I guess you should all have a really good week.
If you start with a dream and share it with some friends, the idea deepens and grows. The dream takes shape, it has form and substance, a community soon arose. A listening room, the hearing room, a place to find a home to play. A listening room, the hearing room, express yourself and have your say. The walls are thin, sirens blare, the tables sit near folding chairs, the stage is set with paint and glue, and love went into every screw. The light shine bright on every star, they come to play from near and far. The light shine bright on every star, they come to play from near and far. A listening room, the hearing room, a place to find a home to play. A listening